Andy Potter on BBC Radio Derby.
Now, the start of the Buxton Festival Fringe is fast approaching. If you were listening to yesterday, you will know. One person who'll be appearing is singer Darren John Poyzer, who started life in the Peak District, and then at the age of 18, he was on the Royal Navy's front line during the Falklands conflict.
I'm gathering wood for the pyre.
So tell us all about this show then that you're doing at the Fringe to commemorate. I mean, lots of people have said we're commemorating World War One, but what actually are you doing?
My own story dates back really to my first poem, which I wrote on board ship on the way back from the Falklands in 1982, coming out of a conflict situation. Firework moon, we go up like a rocket, down like a stick to the ground. And I just thought this is a great opportunity for me to learn about the Great War myself. So my show, I suppose, is a collection of my own songs with some of the stories I found whilst researching the Great War. I was rewarded for violence when I finally made my way home.
Was it character building?
Yes, it was also character destroying. It certainly changes you. And I part of my research into the Great War, I looked at the situation for the lads coming back. Signs read business as usual as the blue-blooded river ran its course. They tried to make their way back into everyday life, and how difficult it was to talk about their experiences, how difficult it was to settle back in amongst their family and their friends again. And there are stories that we must tell.
So can you say things in your songs that you wouldn't say face to face?
Yes, I reckon so. I can talk about the mental health issues and the recovery process. How at times it's hurt like hell.
That's it. I mean, it helped the creative process. It's the way that you've come out of the other side by becoming this entertainer, this performer. Yeah. And so you've got such an insight that when you do this show, The War to End All Wars, you really have got an inside knowledge of it.
This television, the indecision, this aching heart that keeps on wishing we were... Yeah, I mean, I love what you said there about coming through the other side. There's a little story in the ship I was on. We were actually hit by a 500-pound bomb that came into the side of the ship and went out the other side and exploded in the water. Sadly, in the same attack, HMS Coventry was hit, and we rescued the guys off HMS Coventry. I went up like a rocket, I came down like a stick to the ground.
So you, in your mind's eye then, as you're putting this together, you've got a juxtaposition of you in the 1980s, and then that in 1914. Could you picture where it was or not?
I never knew that there was a Battle of the Falklands in 1914, and there were some ships down there. There was a German-British naval battle in 1914 in and around the Falklands. Certainly in the grander political picture, you have World War One leading into World War Two, which of course affects directly the world we live in now, the security issues that we have, and the fears that we have as a population. There's a thread coming all the way through from World War One, so I can link to it in that way. And I also think that in terms of the personal experiences, the human condition that surrounds conflict is very similar to any war throughout history.
So when you go out in Buxton to do this show, is it an emotional place for you as well as the audience?
Yes, it most certainly will be. And I think if I ever do this without any emotion, without any feeling, then I have to stop doing it. It has to be emotional and it has to be real. The show on the night will just be live and it'll be emotional.
Well, you're doing two, aren't you? Doing one on Sunday the 13th.
Yep.
That one's at 4:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, so young people can attend.
And then Saturday the 26th as well.
Yep, 4:00 again.
Darren, it's been brilliant talking to you. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Andy. A pleasure and a privilege. Thank you.